Welcome to Mortgage Mondays. In this episode of Mortgage Mondays, we're going to be talking about LLPAs. I often get the question, why is my friend being charged 4.25% for a 30-year fixed where you're quoting me 4.5%? So in today's episode, we're going to talk about why that could be and what is LLPAs. So the conventional loans and agency mortgages, that they also call them, structure or create a structure for pricing their loans. So the interest rate is usually quoted on a baseline, and then depending on the risk level of the loan, the rate will change. So an LLPA is a loan level pricing adjustment. And so what does that mean? What it means is that they will change the rate, or the loan level pricing will be adjusted depending on different factors. So back to, why does my friend get 4.5% and you're quoting me 4.25% or vice versa? It's because something is different between those two buyers. So what could be different? The interest rate is usually quoted on a baseline, and then the following things can affect your interest rate. So property type, credit score, the state the loan's in, the loan amount itself, the amount of down payment will change the rate, the length of the lock or the guarantee period on the interest rate, how many properties you own, whether it's an investment property or your own property that you're going to live in, which we call owner-occupied property. Rental properties are also known as non-owner-occupied properties. So depending on all those different factors, the rate could change. So let's start by saying our baseline today is 4.25% 30-year fixed. Then let's say that our rate lock guarantee is 30 days. And let's say that the credit score of this buyer is 720. So now let's change it up. So let's start, that's our baseline. So let's take that baseline and assume that everything is the same, but instead of a house, it's a condo. So then the pricing adjustment, or the LLPA adjustment, is 0.75%. So 0.75% of your loan amount will be added to the fee, or you can increase your interest rate to get rid of that fee. And you are paying that fee because you are because you're buying a condo. So the higher interest rate is due to the condo. So that was my beginning of the of my thing today. Is I had a client ask why their rate was 4.5% where their friend was 4.25%. So yes, the condo buyer is paying 0.25% more in interest rate, or 0.75 point in points more than the 1 point loan at 4.25%. So it's something to watch for. This is also true if you buy units. So let's look at another situation where the credit score might have changed. So let's say your credit score is 660 and our baseline was 720. So the 660 credit score is very damaging to the interest rate. Instead of paying 1 point for the loan, the person with a 660 credit score will pay 2 extra points, or 0.5% higher in interest rate. So that's huge. That's why I encourage people to work on their credit scores. So the person with a 720 credit score gets a 4.375 interest rate with 1 point, let's say. The person with a 660 credit score gets 4.875. So it's a huge difference. So let's look at the next one. So the next loan LLPA might be a down payment difference. So if the investor puts, and let's say this is an investor, if an investor puts 20% down on a rental property, the interest rate today would be 4.875. But let's say they only have 20% down, then the LLPA for putting slightly less down payment would increase the rate to 5.25%. So that's 3/8 the difference, or 1.5 points in fee for 20% down versus the 25% down. So when you look at rates online or on a billboard, note that the rate may not apply to your situation, and you may not have the right payment calculated if the interest rate is 0.5% higher than you expected or what was on the billboard. So you want to make sure that someone looks at your situation, analyzes it, and gives you a quote based on your particular situation, because those LLPAs will get you. So thanks for tuning in to Mortgage Mondays. Please join me next Monday to hear about swing loans or bridge loans. That's how to buy your new property without selling your first property first, your old property first. And then join me Friday for my interview on Investors Corner with Aaron Young from Laughlin Associates. He'll educate us on LLC, who needs them and why we need them. And to join our mailing list, all you have to do is text 444-999, enter your email address and keyword mortgage fund, and you'll be automatically added to our mailing list. So thanks for joining me on Mortgage Mondays and learning about LLPAs, and have a great holiday weekend.